Okay, G, how do we find stocks that are candidates to trade? And there's, for a lot of people, um, they know only the stocks. They will only pick stocks that they're familiar with, maybe Nike because they wear Nike apparel, or Home Depot because they go to Home Depot to shop, or Costco or something like that. But if you want to find the best companies, I'm going to show you the cheat code right now. So let me share my screen. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Let me share my screen and show you the cheat code. And most people know this, but some do not. So I'm on barchart.com. This is the homepage that comes up when you're on bar chart. Can you see bar chart right here?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Okay, so here's the cheat code to find stocks that perform very well that you could consider buying yourself or buying stock options on. You go to ETF here on bar chart, and I'm circling it a little bit. I see you right in there, G. You with me?
Yeah.
Right here. Go to ETFs. Click on ETF. And I'm getting an error. Hold on. Let me see. See if I can get it to come. All right. And then once you click on ETFs, look at this. What does that say?
In the top 100 ETFs.
Yeah, you click on it. And then this brings you to the top 100 ETFs, right? And so then you can look at the weighted alpha, and you can look at the 52-week change. So if I were to click here, this tells me the best performing ETFs over the last 52 weeks, the last year. And what is an ETF? An ETF is an exchange traded fund. It is a basket of stocks that kind of mimics the behavior of a sector in the stock market. So there's various ETFs. Some mimic the tech sector, the solar sector in particular within the subsector. Some mimic the performance of real estate, some the performance of the semiconductor chip sector. So that's what an ETF is. A basket of stocks, similar to like a mutual fund, a basket of stocks mimicking the performance of a particular sector. If you look here, look at the 52-week high percentage, profitable percentage. Look, this ETF block did 173% over the last year, and it has a basket of stocks. So I can click on it, and it would show me the chart. You can look at the chart, and if we have the Bollinger Band and all of that stuff already set up, we can go interactive. And then I can look at it, and look, it's consistently above the 200-day moving average as an ETF. And that's over 6 months. So let's look at it over 5 years. That is our long-term indicator. So over 5 years, the chart is much smaller. It's hard for me to blow this up. I was trying to blow it up. But you can see it's been hovering around the 200-day, and now since February, it's been consistently over the 200 days, so not as long. And then you can see it was hitting the 200-day, but now it's trending above the 200-day. But that's not what I wanted to completely show you. And what I wanted to show you is, how do you know which stocks make up this particular block ETF? Where you go is to the section called constituents. And in the constituents, that shows you all of the stocks that make up block and why it performs so well. So take a look here. You have these stocks making up block, that ETF. And you even have The NASDAQ is part of it. Now, what to pay attention to? You typically, if you want to pick high performance stocks, what makes this ETF have such good performance is probably the top 10 holdings. So you would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But I would go a little further because I see some more I like. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, maybe 20, 21. Oh, that's a good one. But the point is you would go through and look at the holdings, and this shows the percentage of, for this ETF, what is the percentage of the stock that this ETF holds to make it perform. So this ETF has this percentage of this Canaan stock and this percentage of this stock, and then overstock.com, it has 2.39% and so forth. And so you could just go through these companies and just look at their charts to see if there are companies you're interested in. I see a couple of companies I really like. I see NVIDIA. You click on it and you can look at that 1-year chart. You can look at that 5-year chart without even looking at the Bollinger Band. You can look and see that this is a lot lower than it is today in the future. So, it's really easy to go that simple. And then you can just go back and you can look at Square, click on it, and you can see the chart. You can see Square back in April 2016 at 1331 approximately. And I clicked on Square and then I went to the Bollinger Band. So I can just look at that 5-year chart and I can see. And then that is actually the 1-year chart, but let's look at the 5-year. Maybe we'll look at the 1 year, but then you can come into 6 months or so, and you have the RSI here, you have the Bollinger Band, but that's how you find your stocks. You can simply just go to ETF and do that. So let's do another one. ETF, top 100. Click on this to sort in order of best stock. Here's a popular one, ARK, Kathy Wood, ARK funds, ARKG. Click on it. Let's see what Kathy Wood top holdings are. You can look at the chart without going to the Bollinger Bands. You can look and see this is a good chart over 5-year. You can look over 1 year of recent. Yep, this is trending the right way. You can look at the Bollinger Band if you're interested in ARKG, the ETF, but we're interested in the constituents. Click on the constituents, and here's what ARKG is holding. And so you can see the majority of the performance of that stock is coming from these top holdings. And so you can go click on these. And as you click on these, you can look at the charts, look at the 200-day, and look at the history. And so, I think it's really that simple. So you have endless amount of stocks to pick here. Look, this is a popular one. Vertex. It's coming down over the last year. It's been trading sideways. It's going down. I wouldn't pick that based on the chart. We can click back to go back to this. Here's Regeneron. That's another popular one. Oh, look at that chart over the last 3 months, last 6 months, last year. That doesn't look like a lot of good growth over the last year. Kind of sideways-ish over the last 5 years. So you can see I'm going to click back. And so I could just go back and forth and look at stocks, from the famous Kathy Wood that's making this particular ETF perform. What about Bristol Myers? I'm looking at it. Oh man, 5 years, just sideways. 5 years sideways. Do not see the growth I really like there. So I'll click back. Let's see if I can find a growth one in here. What about Pacific Biosciences of California? Oh, here we go. That's what I'm looking for, dog. So here we go. So here's one, and it's just taken off. It's pulled back quite a bit. That's the 1 year chart. Has it been out for 5 years? It has. It kind of traded sideways and took off. Let's look over the last 6 months. Let's see what's happening. There we go. And so then let's look at the Bollinger bands, see kind of what we're working with here. Click over to interactive charts. We can see it's near the bottom of the Bollinger Band. It's trending above the 200-day. The RSI says it's oversold. And then if you want to get more history on the company, I got something for you. So let's say, for instance, now you're interested in Pacific Biosciences, but you don't understand the company. You can look at the profile, and the profile will give you a brief description of the company. But if you want to go further, go to the SEC filings. It's right here, and look for the 10K. So we'll go to the SEC filings, and then we'll go to the 10K. This is going to give you excruciating detail on the company. We'll go over and click the PDF on the 10K. The 10K comes out once a year. It's the annual report. And you could read about what makes this particular company good. And you don't have to read the whole thing, just read the beginning. And they all set up the same. That they'll tell you what makes them good, who their competitors are, and so forth. So let's go through this quickly. Here's an overview of the company. It's really this simple. You could speed read through this stuff. I just want, so people freak out when they hear the 10K, they think it's really difficult, but it's really easy, and you do not have to go through all of it. So it just talks about, in order to understand the limitations, what they do here, talk about, so they're in the DNA space, and just goes into detail describing the company. And the portion I like is when they talk about their seasonality as well as their competitors. So let me keep going. So, I mean, just a lot of details about the company. So the 10K gives the most details about the company. Look at this, all of this, like the first 5 or 6 pages, just about the company and their intellectual property. So if you really want to understand the company, you just go to the SEC filings, look at the 10K, the yearly report for the company, and just read up all about what they do. There's no other place that gives you as good of information other than the analyst analysis. And in some cases, I think this is better. And then they talk about their risk factors. So they start talking about, what obstacles they have to overcome and the challenges. So that's really good. So you can look at the positive and, their competitive things that they have to overcome. Just, it doesn't get much better. So yeah, so you can just look at the 10K and just get all of that info. So that's pretty much it. You can just click back and back, and there you go. So that's kind of it. Again, ETF, top 100 holdings. Look at, click on the 52-week. Look at high performing, the best performing ETFs. Click on it. Here's ARC F, ARC Q, XBuy. Just see some popular ETFs here where you can just go and get their XWeb. Here's an internet spider play that's done, 120% over the last year. So, and the constituents. Do you have it? Does that make sense, Greg?
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
No, that's a simple breakdown on how to find some good companies to trade. Basic search you can do on barchart.com.
Yep.
I mean, that's as simple as you made it.
Exactly. So when people, that's the cheat code. So when people want to find good stocks that they want to invest in or good stocks to do a stock option on, I mean, it's endless. So do not rack your brain just trying to find them. Just go to bar chart, look at the popular ETFs and look at the biggest holdings, and then go to the SEC filing 10K to really get all of the details you need to support the thesis of why you want to buy the stock. So I guess that's it. If there's no other questions, that's the segment for today. And as always, keep investing. And we call this show Bet Out of Debt because when you make a trade, it's called a bet. And hopefully it's a winner one that would keep you out of debt. And until next time, as always, keep investing.